The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of the staff or management of Visionary Related Entertainment.
Aloha and welcome to Maui Nonprofit Notes, where each week on the show you'll find us talking story with Maui's nonprofit executive directors and staff to find out how they're working to support those with needs within our community. Maui Nonprofit Notes is generously sponsored by Pacific Source. If you're building or remodeling a home, please stop by Pacific Source's Cabinet and Appliance Showroom located in the Waikapu Base Yard. I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific, and your host for Maui Nonprofit Notes. During this hour, we share some of the experiences of our nonprofit agencies and just how they're changing lives, changing communities, and creating miracles of hope for those with needs. And today we have, this is quite a combination when you think about it, isn't it? We're going to be talking with Diane Alba Means, who's the marketing director of Rosalani Place, and we're going to be talking with Marty McMahon. Why do I want to say Mahan?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Yeah.
And I know you, so it's not like I don't know the name. He's with the e-cycling program, and we've got a lot of interesting news on that one, so we're going to save him for the second half. But I introduced him because he might have some questions for the folks at Rosalani Place.
I may.
Great.
And so we're going to dig right in and talk about what's happening at Rosalani. And Diane, I know you've got a helper that's with you today.
I do. I have Debbie Priest with me, and she's my marketing team. She's with us part-time for right now, and she's fairly new to Hawaii, but very familiar with working with our seniors. She'd been doing that for quite many years back in Ohio.
Cool. Back in Ohio. Oh, the old Midwest.
Yeah.
Is that where all the rain was? No, that was in Illinois, wasn't it? This last weekend.
I think so.
Yeah. So Rosalani Place. Now, you're kind of unique in a couple ways.
Well, first of all, we're the only licensed assisted living community here on Maui, and we've been in operation. It'll be coming up on 15 years now in November. And so what that means is the residents have our nursing staff available to them, caregivers, med techs, and there's always someone available to help them with their daily task of living if they need it. Or they can be independent as well.
Is there an age minimum or anything?
Yes, there is. There's actually, our minimum age is 55. There's no maximum age limit. Right now, our oldest gentleman is just turned 99.
Wow.
At one point, we had 3 of them over 100, but they're no longer with us. So.
Oh, we're going to be a celebration coming up here next year then.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Gosh, 99. I can't imagine.
And he's still very independent and living on his own for the most part with some
Really?
assistance, but walking around and giving everyone his opinion. And, yeah, he's doing great.
Good for him. Well,
Yeah.
he certainly has lived through a lot of different times, especially in the last 20, 30 years. Well, at 99, he's lived through a lot of interesting
Yes.
times. We're back in World War I, aren't we?
Yep.
World War I, World War II, Korean War, Vietnam. My gosh.
Yeah, depression.
Depression, a couple times. Well, the Great Depression, and then a couple others along the way.
Yeah.
Well, which is interesting too, because now with the age group that we're in, we actually have people there that have been in all 3 wars, Vietnam, Korea, and World War II. So we've got quite an expanse of generations.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Some have served. Some have had children who've served.
Yes.
I'd like to kind of be a fly on the wall in some of these conversations that must take place at lunch or dinner.
Yeah, we're getting more and more calls from people in the baby boomer age, though, so it's interesting.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're all ready to come over there, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh boy, wow, that's interesting. I've always marveled at the idea that you folks have about how you do all the various services that you provide, because you're not a large organization by most standards.
Correct.
How many residents would you have?
Well, we have 114 apartments, and right now we have about 92 residents in-house. So, and some of the apartments are large enough that do accommodate a couple. So we have, I think, 8 couples living at Rosalani at this time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And now the other apartments, you do have some programs where people can come in on a temporary basis.
We do. They call that respite short-term care, and they can come from a minimum of 5 days up to 30, and sometimes they're there a bit longer depending on the circumstances. Sometimes they'll use it if a family member needs to go off island, go on vacation, and they don't want to leave mom or dad home alone, and they can come and have them stay there and be safe. Other times people will come because they're not sure if they want to move in full time, but they want to just come try us out. So it's a furnished apartment, so it's kind of like going to a hotel. They just bring all their personal, toiletries and things like that, but the whole room is furnished. But when someone moves in full time, they're unfurnished, so people get to decorate it and have it be just what they're used to living with their things at home.
It's their apartment.
Yes.
Yeah. When I first started reading about respite care, I was thinking about the caregiver coming over there and getting away from it all. And I'm thinking, well, that's backwards.
Great.
Right.
But it's so that the patient or whoever they're taking care of can come over.
Right, and then the caregiver gets to have respite as well.
Gotcha.
And sometimes that's just another reason for them to use our program.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and it's so necessary. I mean, so many times we hear how burnt out caregivers get.
Exactly.
And in a lot of cases, they don't realize how burnt out they are.
Yeah. It's a very stressful job.
I would think so. Because that's a 24/7 thing.
Yes, and especially if they're caring for someone that has any kind of a memory loss, which makes it even a bit more challenging. Yeah. And we're able to accommodate those because we have different levels of care in our building. We have more independent people that are still driving, and some are still working, up into a secured unit for those with really more advanced stages of Alzheimer's or dementia.
Really? So some people still work.
Yes.
I never thought about that angle.
They just maybe want to downsize. Maybe they're recently widowed. They have too many stairs in their house and just things like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What a concept.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to remember that one. So when they come in, do they have to show a need?
Well, everyone
What?
to come to Rosalani, whether it's short-term or long-term, there's some criteria to move in because we're not just like a hotel. First of all, they would need to have a current TB test done for tuberculosis twice. They would need to meet with our nurse for an assessment. It's about a 6-page questionnaire going over all the different kinds of things, from what time to get up in the morning to all kinds of personal questions about medications and all. And then they also have an admission packet to be filled out by their doctor. So that whole process, if they don't have any current TB test, is going to take a couple of weeks.
I see.
Yeah.
But basically, they don't have to have any health issues.
No, they should be.
Because you're not a nursing home.
We're not a nursing home.
That would be going to Halemakua
Correct.
or someplace,
Kula
Kula Hospital.
Yes.
Okay, so yours is just mainly for people in that prime of life.
And again, they can need assistance. We can help them with medication management. They can help them with bathing, dressing, toileting, escorting, all those kinds of things.
I think the thing that I think is the most important, at least as I look at it, thinking about my mother when she was in a facility similar to this, was the fact that she had 3 meals a day provided, go out, sit down in a dining room with other people, and not sit in her room and have a cracker and a piece of cheese and call it lunch.
Really, that's really important. And then they do have 3 meals a day included in their rent, as well as a snack in the afternoon. And the nice thing about Rosalani being assisted or licensed as assisted is all of our menus are approved by a licensed dietitian, and they do about a 6-week rotation. And then they also have a group of residents that meet once a month with the chef, and they have a powwow, and they talk about things that they like, what they don't like, what they want to change on the menu, and then he listens. And then in addition to their main menu, he has a whole list of alternatives. So they have choices. It's not just they have to eat what's in front of them. If they don't like it, he says, send it back and let's get you what you want. So
Really?
yeah. And he always has Simon and pepperoni pizza. So he's got everybody covered. So
Nobody can leave the dining room hungry.
that's right.
I gotcha. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Especially here where you've got all the different nationalities
Exactly.
together. I'm sure that meat and potatoes is not the answer every day.
No, but we do have some that still want their white rice and not brown rice, And the nice thing about our chef, he's a local boy. He very much is interested in what the residents want. When people move in, he has a questionnaire. He finds out their favorites, and he tries to accommodate them on something that he knows that they're really going to enjoy because he cares about their well-being. Yeah,
That's cool.
it is nice.
That's and I'm serious when I say that the food parcel of this thing is really great, because I remember how bad she had gotten about eating. I remember the last time I went home to visit before we moved her out of the house into a residence. Looked through her kitchen cabinets, and she had cans of baked beans, about 5 different boxes of cereal, several different kinds of crackers, and a bunch of different kinds of cheese, and a big package of bologna.
Oh,
And and it's like, well, where's your meat for your meals? And she goes, I don't want to fix for one.
right.
And that's the common thread, I think.
It is, and oftentimes they start losing weight when they're living at home because, again, they don't want to prepare the meals, especially for one or maybe even two. So here they don't have to cook, they don't have to do the dishes, so everything's taken care of for them.
Totally get pampered. It's
Yeah.
like, when can I move in? Get housekeeping, meals.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, the housekeeping besides and laundry.
Laundry.
As well.
That's I mean, those are all reasons to go there. Yeah. So and now you were talking about like when somebody has issues, like you've got the different levels of security, dementia and Alzheimer's and so forth. These patients, they can come in with that
Yes.
issue.
Yes. So, like, it's a 4-story building. Our 3rd and 4th floor residents are more independent. They're able to navigate around the building, go to activities, find their way to the dining room. But the 2nd floor is like a transitional floor between independent and assisted versus full-on secured unit for Alzheimer's, or maybe somebody who's got wandering and things like that, what they call sundowning with the Alzheimer's disease. But it's a floor where either they've got some memory issues starting, or for physical needs. Maybe they've had a stroke or a fall and they just need more help. And people are the staff, there's a higher ratio of staff to resident there, and they're going to check on them every hour. Versus our more independent floor, they check on everybody every 2 hours, and the memory care wing, they check them every 30 minutes. So,
Oh wow.
yeah.
You call it sundowning?
Sundowning, kind of later in the afternoon, those with memory loss, they get a little more fidgety, they get agitated. Debbie, do you have anything to add about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Around that time of day, they start to, depending on what they did earlier in the day, they may become more anxious. The change in the outdoors, the light, they start to notice it's getting darker, so they kind of feel like, oh, maybe I need to start getting ready for bed, and they're just needing something to do. So we have a lot of good activities to keep them involved in purposeful things.
Yeah.
I see. I was thinking they were going to try to run away and run home or something at that point.
On occasion, that's, they're
Right.
exit seeking, as we
Yeah.
would say. There's a couple of them,
Yeah.
Yeah, with my grandmother, she used to carry a baby with her, a doll, and around that time of day, she would be like waiting for the bus to come with her children. She's thinking her children are coming home from school. And so depending on what stage they are in Alzheimer's, you don't want to argue with them. You really just want to be in the moment with them and
Right.
say, oh yeah, they'll be here in a minute, and let's go do something else, and kind of transition to help lower that agitation, because then they're like, well, where's my child? She's not getting off the bus. And so it's nice to have support and have caregivers and nurses that understand.
So because of the disease, they're kind of locked in that time period that they lived through,
exactly.
and they're reliving actual experience.
And you just have to go with the flow and don't try and correct them or argue with them, because it just creates unnecessary stress. And
Do they visualize that you are somebody they know?
sometimes they may still recognize you. Other times they may think you're, sissy down the street, and
Yeah.
you just kind of go with it.
Interesting.
I've heard that senior housing here can have a long waiting list. Do you have a waiting list to get in?
Right now we're at the point where that enhanced care and that memory care are full, so the next person would start a wait list again. It seems to happen that I start a wait list and then things open up. They just have a way of working out so people aren't on a wait list too long. Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Interesting. I know that my mother thought that there was a certain person that was her sister, and it wasn't her sister. It was her best friend in high school. And until we figured out who she was talking about, it really caused us some concern.
Some stress.
What happened? Who is this person? And then we'd mention her sister, and I don't know who she is. We'd say, what about Aunt Mary? Who's Aunt Mary? Mary who? And we said, no, my sister is Charlotte.
Yeah. That's one of the nice benefits of being at Roselani Place as well, too, because you have staff that's available to have those conversations with your loved ones. So you have peace of mind knowing that everything's good, and that they may be experiencing different memory issues, but you don't have to worry about, somebody showing up at their door unannounced, or having them take phone calls from solicitors that may be looking to take advantage of an
Right.
older adult. So
Right.
it really gives family peace of mind to know that their loved one is being taken care of.
Yeah, I can agree with that one. We've got to take a short break, and we'll be right back with the folks from Rosalani Place.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we are back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes, the weekly radio show where we talk story with our executive directors and staff from our nonprofit agencies and find out what's happening in their worlds. And we're talking here in the first half of the show with Diane Alba Means and Debbie Priest, who are the magical marketing team for Rosalani Place. It's the first time you've had some help, isn't it?
It is.
Whoa, you've
Yeah.
carried this all by yourself.
Yeah, so it's great to have a
been
team
doing
member.
great.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And now you're getting ready to celebrate 15 years of existence.
We are. November 3rd, which is a Friday, we're going to have a big celebration over at Rosalani Place from about 2 to 5 in the afternoon. So the public will be invited, and we should have a big grand time with great food and entertainment, and I'm hoping the mayor will come over and say hello as well. So.
Some Rosalani ice cream, perchance?
Well, every Friday at Rosalani we have ice cream social, and we do serve Rosalani ice cream at the
Outstanding.
social.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Knew they had to do that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Debbie's
great.
really been enjoying Fridays at Rosalani.
Yes, 2 o'clock on Friday, you'll see me eating some good ice cream.
I gotcha. That's great. Now, there's another thing that I saw on your website. This free monthly Hawaiian music concert. Are you still
We
doing
do,
that?
and that's actually tomorrow. It's our annual, our monthly Picnic for Pokey concert. Pokey had been one of the radio personalities with KPOA for years and years and years, and we were actually one of the sponsors when he was alive, and about 4 years ago he passed on. And so with Olana Mele Productions, who are the sound people in Rosalani Place, we wanted to honor Pokey's wishes and to continue to do that. So it's a free Hawaiian concert every third Thursday of the month. It's under the monkey pod tree up here at Kaʻamanu Church in Wailuku Town. And, it's a nice day. Bring your lunch. We have fresh baked cookies and water and coffee, and it's a great time, and it's free, right?
Yeah. Wow. What a way to spend
Yeah.
Friday lunch.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a nice, Thursdays.
I'm sorry. Hello, isn't it? Yeah. Thursday.
Thursdays.
Don't
so.
get ready for the weekend.
So
yet,
we're
Cindy.
we're looking at these clouds today, but tomorrow it's going to be a beautiful sunshine day, so we're going to be good.
There you go. So that's every third Thursday.
Thursday.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. Free, just stop by and enjoy the music. As I was looking at some of the activities that you have planned for the folks there, I mean, it's just an awesome schedule. I can't believe that anybody could sit in their room and not come out and enjoy something.
Well, it's there for them. We encourage them to participate. We do actually have them come down for all of their meals. We said that even if they don't wish to participate in the other activities, such as, of course, there's always bingo, but outings, and I know they've got a tour scheduled to go up to the winery next month, and they've been up to Surfing Goat Dairy, and I think once a month they go over to Lahaina and watch the hula show over there. And
I believe they're going to Vegas as well, too.
oh yeah, we have a group
Whoa.
are actually going to Vegas in September with some of their family members. So
Interesting.
yeah, it's our first time taking them off island. So
That should be an
It should be
adventure.
it should be an adventure. So
Is that a 2-day trip or longer?
I think it's like 4 days.
4 days?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's a couple of the staff going along with family and some of the residents. So.
Gotcha. Did you get to go to that?
No, I'm not. I'm going to be in hula competition at the same
Oh.
time. So.
How about Debbie?
Oh, I'll be working.
working.
She's going to
Oh,
hold
okay.
down the fort.
No chance for you guys. You,
Would love that opportunity though, but maybe next year.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now, do the residents have kitchens in their apartments?
There's like a kitchenette, so there's a microwave and a sink and a refrigerator with a freezer, and it's kind of like a 3/4 size fridge. So,
Okay.
not just like those little college size. So
Right.
if they have their favorite snack, the things that I always think there's plenty of room for their own ice cream in the freezer. So,
I
they
see.
can fix a little something, but most people just use the meals and
Right.
things like that.
Interesting. And I asked that because I saw on the list of activities, shopping at Foodland, shopping at Safeway.
Yeah, they still like to go out and buy their treats and
Gotcha.
snacks kind of
Yeah.
items,
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. But then you also have a Target, and what else did I see on here? So they can actually do theirs at Ross, Kahumanu Shopping Center.
Yeah, so we have our big bus that holds 14. They just would sign up and they can go and then to any of these outings they wish to. And then once a week there's a day where they take them to their own bank and post office if they wish to go there as well.
Interesting.
And then we do complimentary transportation to their doctor's appointments. So they just need to let us know their schedule so they don't need to worry about that. Sometimes family members will just actually meet at the appointment so it saves them time from missing extra hour from work with picking mom or dad up and then just meeting at the appointment.
I see. That
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Do
Right.
you have medical staff?
We actually do. We have a licensed nursing staff. They're there about 14 to 16 hours per day. And then we have medical technicians and caregivers, and they work around the clock and underneath our head RN, Cora Godinez.
Interesting. The one that stood out to me here is volleyball. Do they really play volleyball?
Not in the sense that we think of UH volleyball team. That's more from like a beach ball sitting,
Ah,
that type
Oh, I
of a
see. Okay.
volleyball. Yeah,
Okay.
which we could do sitting here in
the studio.
In the studio. So
okay, all right. That
it's
helps.
my style,
Yeah.
like chair yoga. Yeah,
Chair yoga,
there we go.
Okay, I'm with you on that.
There we go.
I got that. But now you also do you have a facility where you do the hair?
Yeah, we actually have an
Salon?
in-house hair salon, and Kathy has been there since we opened as well. And so she works with the residents, men and women, and she has outside clients as well.
Okay.
But she can do cuts, colors, manicures, pedicures.
Yeah.
She covers everything on that.
'Cause I know for a lot of the ladies in this age group, that's something they've
Once
had
a week,
done
that
every
shampoo
week.
set, yes.
Yeah.
There's still quite a few that take advantage of that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And you won't find so much of that with the baby boomers.
No, I don't think so.
And then the other thing I was looking at was this therapeutic coloring.
Yeah, so, that's all the rage now is the adult coloring book. So we have
Oh,
Opportunity-
I'm getting a picture here that I don't think is right. I'm too much emphasis
I'm
on
on
the
with
adult.
you, yes, Susie. I know where you are. I know where you are. We
The
shouldn't be
truth
there.
is,
We
that a
shouldn't
lot of
be
them
there.
still rather play bingo. They'd
okay.
rather play bingo than color.
I gotcha.
Yeah, they'd rather play bingo than color.
I've heard
but-
that's a stress reliever though.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. Adult coloring book. Huh?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to think about that one, Marty.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe we should go over. It's at 3:00 on. Oh, that's on Saturday. When else do they do it? They're Tuesdays. Tuesdays at 3. We could do that.
There you
Yeah.
go. There
We
you
go
go.
over at 3:00
Just
on
check
Tuesday
that out.
and check
a
it
little
out.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we did add last year, we have a billiards table now on the 4th floor because of our baby boomers and some of the Vietnam vets coming in and things like that, which really don't care to play bingo. So
You hauled a billiard table up 4 flights of stairs.
I didn't.
I'll bet there's an elevator.
There's an
They are-
elevator.
it's a real billiard table because they are massively
We had
heavy.
we had our gentleman who billiards here on Maui. That's his business. It was donated, and then we had it all refurbished with our money from the charity walk, and it was all in
Yeah.
pieces. He brought it all up and
Slate
leveled
top
it
is-
out.
Slate top is probably 2 pieces.
It was.
Yeah.
Well done. Well,
It's beautiful. It's a
It's
beautiful
beautiful.
table. You'll just have to come over
That's
and
cool.
shoot a game of pool.
Check that out when we check out the therapeutic coloring.
all right.
Okay, we've got an afternoon plan here.
All
All
right.
right.
I mean, this is fabulous. It's, I would think that as one gets older, there's things that you enjoy, and you've always enjoyed them, and you want to continue to enjoy those. But then there's other opportunities that maybe you wanted to do and never had a chance. I've got a friend that's taken up painting
Oh, nice.
at 86. And it's like, you're what? And she goes to Kalnoa every week for her painting class.
Oh, good.
And it's like, when did this come on? She says, I've wanted to do this since my kids were, little, and her
Didn't
kids
have
are
the
50 and 60 now.
opportunity.
Right.
And she now has the opportunity. And it's like, this, I got to tell you, it's changed her life because she can do it. And she does it pretty well.
Well, as an artist myself, I really can appreciate that because there's just something about moving the color around on paper that it is therapeutic and it just helps you relax. So
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And doing it with other people as well too is very enriching for
the
them.
social aspect, yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, you never know what you're going to find in some of these classes. You're going to find, the next, I don't know, who was there a senior artist someplace along the way that I'm trying to think of? Granny somebody or
I don't know.
I don't know, yeah, whatever.
But one of their most favorite things is we have a baby grand piano in the lobby, and we have
Ooh.
different people will come in and play, and they do sing-alongs. They bring songbooks, and that is another very favorite
Beautiful.
pastime.
The old standards and
Yes,
Interesting.
especially "You Are My Sunshine" is one of the.
Yes.
Wow. Oh,
They have
yeah.
to do that a couple of times. Yes.
That's great, and that's going to change as you get more baby boomers.
Yes.
What they want to hear.
That'll
But the
be
piano
interesting.
still comes in handy for
It does.
all ages.
Yeah, and people are welcome. If you play the piano and want to just stop by and play a few songs, please do. It's right there in the lobby. So
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Oh boy, I don't know. I'm kind of ready to go over and check it out.
yeah, absolutely.
we'll schedule your tour.
So, are there any significant changes planned in the near future, or
No, not
You just-
really. Just keep serving our residents. You know,
Right.
it's really one big ohana over there. Everybody, cares about each other. The staff and the residents, kind of like an extended family. So
I guess the worst part of it to me is that there's death at the end of the
yeah,
cycle.
that's the hard part.
Yeah. It's. I remember Mom saying, "Oh, the hearse was here again this morning, to pick up so and so," and I said, "Oh no."
But if
And-
I understand you don't necessarily see them there. They go someplace else before they pass.
No, not necessarily.
Really?
Because Rosalani is not a hospice facility, so
Right.
say if someone was under hospice care, we're not able to really accept them to come in. But if someone has been a resident with us and we have the belief of they can age in place, they can come in and stay there through end of life on hospice care at Rosalani Place.
Oh, okay.
So hospice would take
Yeah.
care of them there.
Yeah, and we, at any time we might have 2 to 6 people. It just depends.
Right. Okay.
So,
Yeah. So that, again, from my experience with my mother, that's where she died in hospice care.
Yeah.
Was in the facility, but she had moved from the fully independent to the partially independent before she died,
Yeah.
and that was even a hard transition to look at somebody having to do things for her. The worst part, I think, was when they get to the point where they don't want to put on clean clothes. They want to wear the same thing
We
they
want
did
to wear the
yesterday.
same thing every day.
And it's
It does
my
get
mother
challenging
was
at times.
yeah, she was fastidious about clean clothes and things, and it's just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening.
And it's hard to see those changes in our loved ones.
Yeah, but thank goodness there's folks like you and the staff at Rosalani that this is their job to do, and it sounds like they do it with love and care.
They do. They really do.
It's not just work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any last minute comments before we have to say goodbye?
Well, just really quickly too, people always want to know, is there like a big contract or anything like that? And it's
good
a
point.
month-to-month rental, so there's no buy-ins or long-term contracts involved with that. So
Okay, there's no give half of your money to you and you'll take
Exactly.
care of them forever.
correct.
Okay, it's month to month.
Yeah.
Month to month.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And what do they have to do to get kicked out?
Wow. I don't know, Susie. I
has
I haven't had to kick anybody out in the 11 years I've been there.
That's
so.
the other side of a month to month, isn't it? I'm sorry. I just had to throw that in. I think I better say goodbye before I get in any more trouble.
Oh, Susie.
Well, thank you for having us today.
Thank you, Diane, and thank you, Debbie.
Oh, my
welcome,
pleasure.
Welcome to
It was
Maui,
great to
and
meet you.
and I hope you enjoy your work over there. And I know you do. You are always just bubbly about everything you do. And one of these days, I'm going to pop in and say hi.
Please do.
Yeah, we'll do.
The
Okay.
Aloha spirit is live and well here
Yeah.
in Maui, and especially at Rosalani Place.
Great.
Very
Tell
nice.
Steve hi for me
I
too.
will. I will.
Okay, we'll see y'all later.
Great, thank
Oh, we
you.
didn't give a phone number.
Oh, it's 871-7720.
And
871-7720, and check out our website at rosalaniplace.com.
very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Susie.
We're going to shift gears and talk with Marty McMahon.
I'm here.
Hi there.
Hi there.
E-cycling.
Yes, ma'am.
I wonder if there's anybody out there who has no idea what e-cycling is.
Well, after nearly 20 years, 15 of them me barking about it, I would tend to doubt it. But just in case, e-cycling is electronic recycling. It started in 1999. We collected 250 pieces and put them in a box and sent them to the mainland. And last year we recycled 1,523,000 pounds of the stuff.
1 million pounds?
1,500,000.
Gee.
It's growing about 17% a year.
Wow.
And one of the reasons I'm on your show today, Susie, and making the rounds in many of the shows, is to keep the people up to date on what we're doing during what I have come to term our rough patch. Why are we having this rough patch? In other words, why are we closed during the month of July? We've never closed before. And what are we doing about it? So shall I just proceed ahead, or
Go
you want
for
to
it.
start? Okay. We're a victim of our own success. What that means is that we are accepting more pounds of electronic recycling than we can process. It's a complicated funding system that is set up to pay for all this, but anybody who's used e-cycling knows that it's free, that anybody can come in, whether you're a business or a person, and you can give us the stuff. It doesn't cost anything. And it's a very costly business. When I fill one container of all the stuff I normally take, all the electronics, from the time I take it to the time it's fully processed, costs $18,000 for a single container. Now, who's paying that? Well, the manufacturers pay for that. The State of Hawaii Department of Health did a great job back in the aughts, 08 and 09, to get a law passed, which got us to mandatorily request that manufacturers like Samsung and Sony and Apple and all the people that we know and love in our TVs and phones and stuff to actually pay for it. Well, what has happened over the last 8 years is that so many people are recycling so much, and at the same time, unfortunately, the way the law is written, the number of pounds manufacturers pay for is based on market share. And last year, market share fell. Therefore, what happened this year was manufacturers had to pay for fewer pounds.
I see.
So we took in more, but got
Right.
paid less.
Right.
So that's where we are right now.
Interesting. So
Right.
in the first 6 months or so,
We did the whole year's allotment,
oh, wow.
the entire year,
Wow.
over 1 million pounds.
Now, just to interrupt you for a second.
Yeah.
People use their electronics
Mhm.
less time and replace it more often.
They generally do, particularly on Maui, because, and there are many people out there who will disagree with this statement, and I'd be one of them because I'm not rich. But the fact of the matter is the county of Maui is very well off. And therefore, we tend to love our toys. And the example I love to give is that if you go to a mainland state, whether it would be Georgia or Minnesota or something, and you ask them how many pounds per person they recycle of electronics in a year, you'll get anywhere in the neighborhood of 2 to 4 pounds a year
Okay.
recycled. We don't hand in our TVs every year and so forth, so it's not a lot. Maui, we're operating between 10 and 11 pounds per person recycled per year. So we're recycling as much as 4 times what everybody else is recycling. We're going out, we're getting, hey, you know what? I don't have a 4K UHD 70-inch television, and I'm sure my wife won't mind if I just pick this up instead of that new car she wanted. So we end up getting all that stuff.
I'm going to stop you right there.
Yeah.
Everybody think about that while you're listening to this commercial.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we are back. Once again, this is Maui Nonprofit Notes, the radio show where we talk story with our nonprofit folks here in our community about what is going on. And in many cases, we talk about how we help people with needs and changing lives and things like that. But I guess you could call it e-cycling changing lives if you can't e-cycle. But I think I'm thinking about what you said just before the break.
Right.
4 times the amount that a mainland, like Midwest state recycles.
Well, certainly one of the reasons that we're here is that we have a great partner, Habitat for Humanity, which is a nonprofit, and they have been the umbrella organization for 10 years to help the community. And they've been fantastic. Without Habitat, we wouldn't exist. There's just no question about it. We will be transitioning through a lot of things over the next 18 months. I'm certainly not going to start talking about what's going to happen because it gets too confusing.
Okay.
But I did want to get the message out in terms of basically answering the question, what are we going to do from here since we're closed and we're reopening?
I want to back up to the statement you made right before the break, and that was about our usage or the poundage that we go through. And you were talking about the big screen TVs and the things. And a lot of that has to do, I think, with the mix of people who live here.
Yes.
We have the very affluent who have the big houses and have to have all the latest stuff in them. And that significantly adds to those of us who just have the standard things.
Yes.
So I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, okay, I've got an iPhone. I probably trade phones every 4 years, maybe. Mm-hmm. Is that pretty standard? What would you think? No?
No, in America it's about 15 months.
Is it really?
Yeah.
See, but I don't want to learn how to use it all over again. You know, I just get really comfortable with something. That's like when I get a new program announced on my computer. You know, download the updates, and I'm going, I don't want to download it. I like what I got.
Yes.
But that's not the average person anymore.
Well, there's a lot of early adapters. There's a lot of people who just simply have to have the latest and greatest. There's also, to give an example of the televisions that you were talking about, if you remember the old CRTs, that's cathode ray tubes. It was a big, thick TV, very heavy.
And heavy.
A lot of people out there, yeah, very heavy.
Yeah.
The average CRT television lasted 12 years. The average flat screen sold in the United States lasts 3. It dies.
So it's planned obsolescence.
I don't know, planned. It's certainly more cheaply made, components made in Indonesia, and just, cheap and thin, and they break.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I had 2 of those big ones, and the last one probably lasted 12, 15 years.
Well, I'm old enough that we used to have televisions where if it died, you opened the back of your TV set, you pulled the tube out, you went up to the drugstore, you plugged it into a machine. It said it didn't work.
What tube did it? Testing tubes
you
and putting back in?
You bought another $3 tube. You brought it home. You put it in your TV. Lasted another 3 years.
That's right.
Now, if something breaks, you bring it to a TV repairman if you can find it. They'll tell you, well, you need a new logic board. It costs $350. You might as well get a new TV.
Right. You can get the new TV for $400.
Yeah.
Or $500 or whatever. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's what we do. So now we have this TV. Now, is this really saving people from throwing it in the dump?
We believe it is. We've done a great education process, and I've actually been at the landfill. I put signs on every bay. They've been there forever since we've been working, about how these stuff do not go in the landfill. They must go to the recycling. And the good people who work at the landfill have stopped people. If they see someone offloading a television or something, just, oh, no way. Read that sign. Bring it over there. We think it's highly functional.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they can leave it there someplace.
Where?
At the dump?
No.
Oh, okay. You said
No.
bring it over there, but
Over
take
to
it
Habitat,
to you.
yes.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah, to what the sign says.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, that's good.
Yes.
Because that's poisonous in the system, right?
Well, it
Or
is.
and it doesn't break down.
It does break down, sadly. There are some things which are sort of poisonous, which are gold and silver. There's some that's just very poisonous, like lead. We know all about the dangers of lead. But the single thing in every circuit board that is the most dangerous is cadmium. Cadmium is extremely poisonous. One drop will poison 1 million gallons of water.
Ooh.
And it can kill you. So I am overseen by the state hazardous waste department,
Right.
because this is hazardous waste. It's not just waste. It's not stuff you can throw away. You have to handle it like hazardous waste. It will kill you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So do you have to take those boards out of something that you're shipping out, or can they
No,
stay in?
they all stay in.
Okay.
We pack and stack the containers in a very specific fashion. We ship them to the mainland for deprocessing, and they're all deprocessed by United States law. They're not, done by Vietnam or something of the Asian
Right.
problems that people have seen in the news.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so we follow all the regs.
Interesting. Wow. Okay, so I guess I can see where we probably go through that much more electronics.
Yeah, and it's, as I say, it's only going to get.
Worse.
Yeah, the population here is increasing. The number of people who move here are increasing, and yeah.
And every child is younger and younger getting a cell phone or a PlayStation, or not station, play toys, whatever, that are electronic. Everything is.
Yes. Well, and at the schools, they transitioned. They had Apples. Most of the schools had Apples. Now most of them are Chromebooks. So
The Google Chrome.
Yeah, the Google Chromebooks, and they're less expensive. They're easy to port and all that kind of stuff. And so we get, stacks and stacks and stacks of Macs constantly from the schools because, hey, we got a grant. Let's update our computer system. We got 100 new computers. The other 100 go to e-cycling.
Wow. Now, are they possibly reusable?
We get to reuse about 2% of what comes in.
That's it.
Yeah, that's about it. There are specific laws dictating what we can and can't do. I mean, very specifically, you can't process something in the state of Hawaii. So technically, I couldn't take apart a unit and attempt to reassemble it in a fashion that would make it work. That's just not something we're not allowed to do.
But now, once in a while, I would imagine somebody will drop off something just because they want to get a new one. It's
Yes.
not bad. It's not broken.
Yes.
It's just, okay, we're done with it.
And we do push that out the door as a reuse rather than a
Yeah.
recycle. We just gave one of the ministers at EO Church a new system. So
Well, I know up at our Pono Center, we have
Yeah.
Our wall TV in the
TV.
conference room.
Is that still functional? Because that was
Yes.
several years ago.
Yes.
Oh, well done. All right. Well done. Yeah.
And I mean, it saves a nonprofit so much money.
Yes.
And it did and it's doing the job.
Yeah.
So it's like I remember he was saying to you something about if you find one, let me know. And,
Yes.
and you called me, and bam, there it was.
There it was. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure that's not the usual situation, but when it happens, because we do know people who just, okay, I'm tired of it, I want a new one.
Right.
I don't think I ever want to really be in that situation.
I agree. I agree.
I have to have more of a challenge than that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so over the next 18 months or so, you've got some major steps that are coming that you're going to be following. But to get back to, you're closed right now,
Right.
and you're hoping to reopen.
We will reopen definitively. We're reopening August 5th. That's a Saturday.
Okay.
We will resume during August and September, excuse me, our normal hours of operation, Tuesday 1 to 5, Saturday 8 to 1. During July and August and September, excuse me, during August and September, we will accept all computers, all monitors, all keyboards and mice. Now, right now, that's all I'm going to say. So if you have a television or a printer, you got to hold on to it for a little bit. We will get to you.
Okay.
Just hold on to it for a little while. The back end of this, Susie, is November 1st. Technically, actually, October 31st. We resume all normal operations with all normal acceptances going forward. So we just have to get through the next 90 days, and we're asking the community to pay attention, be patient, and visit our website. That has an update, and also our information line, 280-6460, and we let people know our hours of operation and what we are accepting at that time.
Interesting. Now, is there some reason that computers, monitors, and keyboards take priority over televisions at this point?
Yes, because again, it's a matter of funding.
Okay.
And what I was able to do during this month that's closure, I was able to get somebody to write a check to pay for those specific items. So those are the items we're going to take. Now, I'm also talking to other people who we're close to talking about accepting other items as well, which they will pay for.
I see.
But haven't gotten there yet. Don't want to put the cart before the horse.
Gotcha.
One thing at a time.
Right. Now, when you're talking about loading up a container,
Yeah.
are these items? There's one company basically paying for the recycling of these items, so they all go in one container. You don't have to spread them out or sort them out.
Yeah, no, excuse me again. The funding, the way the funding works is that we, in a normal operation, when we take all our full load, we put everything into a single container, and then that container ends up at a processor in North America. Now that processor will receive anywhere from 5 to 20 different checks from different sources to pay for specific items. But that's all something that they have to deal with.
Okay. So that's not, thank goodness, something you have to worry about.
No, I am involved in the front end. In other words, talking to people to get the poundage going.
Right.
But on the back end, that's what happens.
Interesting. So in the first 6 months, we said earlier, you used up the full year's allocation of funds.
Yeah.
So if you did 1.5 million pounds last year,
Yeah.
did you do 1.5 million pounds the first part of this year, or were you
No.
greatly restricted?
Yeah, because of the drop in funding this
Right.
year forced by the law, the gap just suddenly opened up earlier.
I see.
We were able to stretch last year to 1.5 million pounds for a couple of reasons. One was we knew we were running out of pounds last August or so, and we worked really hard to get additional poundage, and we were lucky in the sense that 2.5 years ago, 7 companies processed electronics on the West Coast. Only 2 now do. 5 of them went out of business.
Oh my gosh.
So the manufacturers which had contracts with the 5 that went out of business didn't have their quotas met.
Oh.
So it was easier to go to them and they say, hey, yeah, we need another 50,000 pounds. We'll pay for it. And so it was easy
I see.
to cover the year.
Yeah.
Not so lucky this year.
Interesting. So, I mean, are we going to get to a point where they have to find another way to make these things so they aren't so caustic?
Yeah, it would be nice. I honestly don't know where the technology is on that. I don't think there's an awful lot of pressure to drive the manufacturers to do that. They like smaller, lighter, faster. And cadmium really works hard. I mean, it's a good thing. Cadmium is a good thing because it allows manufacturers to make smaller, lighter, faster items. So the pressure is actually to use the stuff that can be dangerous.
So now, and the same products are made around the world.
Yes.
With the same cadmium.
Yes.
But not all countries are as rigid about how to dispose of.
No, by no means. I mean, we've all seen the pictures in the news and the internet about particularly Asia has been overrun, and people there are dying because there are 2 ways to separate the precious metals, primarily gold and silver, from the circuit boards. One is something like hydrochloric acid.
Ooh.
So they have a bath in their house where they dip these circuit boards into the acid, and of course all sorts of problems result from that. The other way is using a substance which produces a gas deadly to humans.
Oh, gee.
You need to wear a gas mask in order to survive, and of course many of them don't. They take the mask off in their kitchen and they suddenly realize, oh, and they just breathe and keel over dead.
Oh my gosh. So this is the humane way of handling it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And I'm hearing you say that we're on top of it.
Yes. Yeah, we only use people who have these standards. We've only used people since 1999 that have used these standards.
Wow, gosh, it's a whole nother world.
Yeah,
most of us don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Like you say, if every 15 months you're out there buying a new cell phone, hey, you give the old one either to one of your kids, or give it traded in, and we don't know what happens to them when you trade them in. Some get, I think, resold, but probably most of them don't because nobody wants a used cell phone, do they?
No, I don't get any requests for them. But new technology is great, but it can continue the challenges. I'll give you a very quick example. We all love electric cars. It seems to be the wave of the future. Well, you know what I'm getting in the yard now, and I'm getting requests to receive, which is those enormous chargers that we have in our parking lots that charge. They last 3 to 5 years, and then they die. And if you open them up, and I've got one in my yard now, there's 18 huge circuit boards in them. So it's great we have electronic cars, and it's great we're making all this stuff, but the other end is going to be these things are going to die, and we're going to have 1 million circuit boards from these things we have to deal with. So it's always something.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And that hasn't hit the screen yet.
Not really. As I say, I have one in my yard, and I've had requests to receive 7 more.
And is that going to be the same kind of thing where you have to go back to the folks that brought those in or sold them to? Yeah,
well, what I have to do is I have to go to processors and manufacturers and say, these are coming in. Can you want to do something about this?
Wow. The other side of the coin.
Yeah.
It seems like every time we think we've done a good thing, we've kind of done a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The rest of the story is yet to be told.
Indeed.
Oh, wow. Marty, it's been great having you on.
Thank you for inviting me, Susan.
I always enjoy talking to you, and the subject, it's real. It's here. And yes, you are closed, and please, people, don't drive by there and just drop stuff off in front of the gate.
Yeah. We're open in 3 weeks. We take computers, monitors, keyboards, and mice, and we'll let you know what else we take when we take it. 280-6460. It has the most updated information. We just ask you to be patient. 90 days, we're back to normal.
There we go. Wonderful. That's what we wanted to hear.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marty. Maui Nonprofit Notes is sponsored as a community service by Pacific Source, the builder's choice. Give Paul and his staff a call at 986-0380 or stop by their showroom in the Waikapu Base Yard on East Oahe Way to see how they can help you with your building project. The Maui Nonprofit Directors Association's mission is to provide personal and professional support to nonprofit executive directors, their organizations, and the community of Maui. Please visit our website at mauinonprofit.org for a list of member agencies. And if you see one there that you're interested in learning more about or maybe even volunteering for, please check their website or give them a call. Today we visited with the folks from Rosalani Place and found out what's happening over there. Always something to talk about when you're talking about seniors and where do you retire to. Give them a call at 871-7720 and talk story about how maybe they can help you and or your family. We've also been talking with Marty McMahon about the e-cycling program, and thank you, Marty, for giving us an update on what's happening.
Thank you.
It's always hard to hear that something has to close down for a little while, but it sounds like it's in the best interest of the program.
It is.
So everybody hang on to your items for 2.5 weeks. That's really all it is. And again, they'll be taking computers, monitors, keyboards, and mice when they start again on Saturday, August 5th. Check their information line at 280-6460 for up-to-date programming. We want to thank everybody for tuning in, and don't forget to join us again next week, right here, same time, same place, when we'll feature representatives of 2 more member agencies of the Maui Nonprofit Directors Association. Until then, I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific, and your host for Maui Nonprofit Notes. Thanks for joining us today. Have a great week, everyone. Aloha.